Swinging a high drive into center field. It's at the wall. It is gone. Casas does it again. It's gone. It's into the bullpen. This game is tied.
He swings and rips one to center field. It's high. It's deep. It's back. It's gone. Sale winds. He fires. Swing and a miss. Strike three. It's over. The Red Sox have won the World Championship.
Whoa, welcome back to Play Tessie. It's episode 72. If you're listening on drop day, it's May 13th. It's episode 72. Garrett Whitlock, number 72. Originally, before his love for Rick Porcello, he just couldn't contain himself anymore. He had to change it, but he was a 72. Had a great, what was it, year and, was it 2 years and then a month, or was it 1 year and then a month?
Of what?
He didn't change it in the middle of the season. He changed it after 2 years, right?
Yeah, he kept it. He kept 72 all year. Dude, how do you not mention Xander, 72?
Well, did we talk to Xander on the field today about his mom?
Certainly not, but we could have if we believed.
That sounded awkward.
We could have had we
Did we talk? Okay, for context, we talked to Garrett Whitlock about his mom's job as a sign language translator and how difficult the language is. Jeez.
Yes.
Jeez.
But shout out Garrett Whitlock. This is the official podcast of Telling Your Mother You Love Her, also known as the official Red Sox podcast of WEEI. Before we get going, hit that subscribe button, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the Odyssey app. Hit that subscribe button, rate us 5 stars. Tell us your favorite Mother's Day memory with your mom. Red Sox related. Give us something Red Sox related. Check us out on YouTube at the WEEI page. Give us that thumbs up there. We got our own playlist going there. Leave a comment there as well. But I'm here with Sammy, and I'm here with the podfather himself, Rob Bradford, the legend. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. What a day.
Let's go. What a
day.
day.
What a day. Let it be
I wake
said.
up every single day, and I yell, let's go, what a day. So
let's go. What's the other thing you say? Let it be done. Let it be said.
Let it be said. Let it be heard.
That's what I do. That's what I do when I go to bed. Let it be said. Let it be done.
Wait, so you wake up and you say what?
Let's go. What a day.
Let's go. What a day.
And then
right
when I
before
go to
you
bed,
shut your eyes,
I wake up my wife and I say, let it be said, let it be done. Then 2 melatonins later, I'm out. So
and then to do it all over again the next day.
Yeah, are you guys melatonin? You guys probably are melatonin people, right?
I only had it one time. It was when I was taking an overnight 10-hour Peter Pan bus to the Carolinas. That's the only time I've ever taken it.
That's a good time to take it. It's a good time to take it. But never take a melatonin when you're trying to take a nap in the middle of the day. Never do that, ever.
Why does it knock you out the rest of the day?
Never take a melatonin when you're going to cover a Red Sox game. Not a good idea. So
do you have experience doing such? When did you do that?
I've been tempted. I've been absolutely been tempted. Instead, I go the other way. Start sipping the 5-hour energy. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. Rob Bradford runs on 5-hour energy and squeeze flavoring into whatever else he's drinking. That's the truth. What was it? Were you polar? What was it? Seltzer?
No, man. No, it's this water flavoring, but you can put it in everything.
Right. But what were you drinking? Was it yesterday at the park? God, it all merges together.
It was something it's something loco. I don't know. It sounds bad, but it's
loco.
Yeah, I don't know. But all I know is that you put the water flavoring in anything, vodka, tea, water, any of that stuff, and it gets you off the soda. That's the biggest thing. Here's a pro tip. You guys are new to the press box. Don't get seduced by the soda. Do not get seduced by the soda. All right?
I'm not a soda guy anyway. I used to get seduced by the soda at Fenway because they had the free refill cups. And so I would get the soda and just keep refilling it because it was free. And this is before I learned there were water fountains at the park that you could just refill a water bottle there. But yeah, I used to my stomach just doesn't agree with soda. I don't know. I can't drink it.
Gordo's a gummy bear guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so I get the gummy bears because if you go all in, and as Coop points out, you're seduced by the ice cream machine, it's over. It's the gateway drug. Have you seen Cotillo?
Yes, and he tells
All
us
right.
that he's done with the ice cream machine, but then later that day gets the ice cream. I watched it happen. It was like within 30 minutes of saying he was done with it.
I'm not saying any. I'm just saying, have you seen? I didn't say. I just said, have you seen him? I'm just wondering if you've seen him. But
I have seen
this
him.
how it happens. We mentioned the ice cream machine and it being the ultimate gateway drug for all members of the media. So if you guys, I'm just trying to steer you in the right direction now that you have the press passes. When you get up there, do not be seduced by the soda and the ice cream machine, because otherwise you'll look like the decrepit people who are sitting in those rows at the press box.
Okay, but here's the question though, Rob, because I'm not seduced by soda and I'm not seduced by ice cream, but I am seduced by gummy bears. If I don't have giant quantities, but I do have them every single time I'm there.
But is that it's not really bad for you, right?
Gummy bears? I mean, they're not good for you. What is it, just
Gummy bears?
emptiness?
No,
You could have-
Gordo, you're eating animal bones when you eat.
Yeah,
gummy
I
bear.
heard that. I heard
Is
that
that
one
true?
time.
Yeah,
It's like
Oh, yeah.
gelatin, right? Gelatin is like
Gelatin.
animal bone.
In fairness, I think half the things I'm eating up there are animal bones. So go hard or go home.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is like first world problems.
Oh yeah, big time.
I can't believe. Oh my goodness, I can't believe they shut off the ice cream machine in the third inning. How dare they? Yeah.
I had a giant plate of eggs and potatoes and French toast today from that kitchen. I enjoyed it. It was good.
By the way, I love you. I love seeing you guys there, because while I'm like trudging around, just complaining about stuff, you're just like, what do you want to do next? Let's go. What do you want? Let's go interview that. Oh, now it's time to eat. Oh, they got eggs. Oh, they got bacon. What do we want to do next? Oh, you guys are like, it's like you just got the pass to Disney World. It's great. I love it. In all sincerity, I love it. So,
well, that is kind of what it is. Sammy, correct me if I'm wrong here, but that's kind of how it feels, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got to Fenway 30 minutes before we were supposed to today because I was kind of like overzealous, and then I just sat in the room and I made a sign for Zach Kelly. He didn't get to use it because he pitched today. If Zach Kelly didn't actually, no,
there was no home run, right?
Rob, you know about our sign, right? The most boring celebration sign.
No.
Explain the thank you.
All right, you know how like the Mariners have like the trident, and then like the friggin' who else? Gordo, who has a good one? Good celebration. The Twins have their wiener.
Right,
their
the Orioles. The Orioles with the water. That might be my favorite.
So the Red Sox don't really have one. They had the cart, they had the weights for Yoshida, and now they kind of don't have one. So we were talking with Zach Kelly, and we were like, what if you just straight up held up a piece of paper that just says, thank you, period. So we wrote, thank you, period, on a piece of paper. And he didn't get to use it, but it's in his bag. It's in his
there.
This is what you should do. That you obviously just have forget about the dugout, right? The bullpen. This is like they basically all in unison hold up the thank you cards.
Yeah,
right.
We're building towards that.
No, that's what it should be. That's what it should be. So we can only, guys, between the flannel shirt celebration in Portland and the thank you cards in the bullpen, you can only put these guys in position to succeed. Like you're doing your job, right? That's it. You can only do so much.
I don't know though, like if you get coaching but you don't take the coaching, if you don't take the coaching, you got to take the coaching.
I don't know, but Rob, the thing with Zach, we're talking to Zach. He's very superstitious. So like he wore the Bruins jersey and they lost, and he was like, that might have been my fault. Might have been me. So if we give everyone the bullpen a thank you sign and the Red Sox lose 16-1, they're gonna be like, it's those Play Tessie a-holes.
Burn their signs. If they get blasted the first day they have the signs, you got to burn them. That's the rule.
We got to weave ourselves into the fabric of the bullpen guys, and once they can trust us, they'll be like, "Wow, these guys will certainly not curse us with their voodoo." And then we can.
So we were talking. I was talking to Bernardino, and we're talking about the Red Bull celebration, and said, "Listen, like I'm trying to get you sponsored. Like I'm working on Chili's, obviously, and Chili's, by the way, I don't know if you've seen their ads, have totally taken this turn toward Instagram influencers and reality show stars in their commercials. So why not? Like, why not Brendan Bernardino, former host at a
Why
Chili's?"
not?
The best
Right,
swag on
so
the Red Sox
Because of
too.
what he said about Chili's.
Right. I mean, they literally have, I don't, go look at the Chili's ads now. They're trending that way where the next step is to have a Major League Baseball relief pitcher refuse to pick up a pile of crap in the foyer of a Chili's. Like, that is the way it's trending. So,
Okay, I got it. I got an idea.
well,
They do
let me finish
Chili's.
my idea.
All right, go ahead.
So I told Bernardino, I said, I'm working on the Chili's sponsorship, but also the Red Bull sponsorship, because as you guys know, like they all do the Red Bull toast at the beginning of the game. So get the picture of Red Bull. Get the picture of you guys holding up the Red Bull, because the Red Bull people contacted me. I don't know if I told you guys that.
What?
Yeah,
No way.
they contacted me after I wrote that story, and they basically, hey, we would like to talk to them. If you want some merch, and I'm not a Red Bull guy, but they are.
Wow.
But so I'm like, let's go. Let's make this happen. And the Red Sox can't take a photo of them doing a Red Bull toast, because I don't even know, because you can't have a competing, once you have a category. So like the energy drink category is sponsored, the Red Sox official energy drink of the Red Sox. I don't know what it is, but it's not Red Bull. So they can't take that photo.
I've never heard of a Red Sox. Okay, that's the next job, is to figure out who's sponsoring.
All right, can I help workshop this a little bit?
Please.
Everyone's favorite thing right now, F1, Drive to Survive, partnered with Netflix. Fenway Sports Group, they also have their own racing team right now. So maybe this is how we slowly get John Henry in on F1 while also getting him in on the Red Bull thing. Red Bull happens to be the best F1 team in racing right now for like the last 6 years. Maybe we can get Bernardino, Max Verstappen together, get John Henry on board with getting him a team in F1.
Coop, I told you.
There's something to work.
I told you. It's roadblocked. You cannot.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like, we got to go right to John Henry.
I could ask Brendan Bernardino to do a half gainer flip on a motocross bike off the Green Monster with a Red Bull, sign on him. And they were like, "Oh, we can't film that."
Well, that's what I mean. That's how we got to take it right to John Henry and be like, "Listen, talk to Red Bull. We'll work out a deal. We'll get you a partnership, FSG, with Red Bull Racing."
Just blur it out. You can just blur it out.
Well, we want the Red Bull money as well. We're trying to.
Well, I mean, we're proceeding. We're proceeding as if we don't have Red
Sammy. We want that sweet Red Bull money.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
but
I'm trying to see Joe Castiglione get inducted into the Hall of Fame. We got to pay for that somehow.
You guys were talking about it as if that, like, it wasn't a possibility. What about Monster? You get Monster Energy. Slash down the Green Monster claws.
Whatever it is, we have to find out the official energy drink of the Red Sox and just use that. I mean, that's what it is.
I'm on it.
Got to get some sketchy brand that nobody's ever heard of. Out of like.
By the way, Coop, I thought you were going to say I want Joe Castiglione to be inducted wearing like a Red Bull jacket.
I think if you were to give him Red Bull, he might be able to go another 40 years. We haven't tested it yet. How are we to know if it doesn't work?
Can you imagine Joe Castig in like a full like Monster Energy garb attire?
Monster Energy in the jacket.
He killed in the Mass Mutual commercials. I think he's got
an MMA fighter.
You know what? You're right.
He was all hopped up on Red Bull in those commercials.
Big time.
Marsha.
That's my charger, Marsha.
So good. So good. So Sammy, I'm sorry. What was your idea?
A Chili's commercial with Bernardino, and like it could be Brennan Bernardino, and he's like walking his dog, and then the dog like defecates on the ground, and it shows Brennan looks at the poop and he just shakes his head. He's like, I'm not touching that. And then cut to Brennan inside of Chili's, and he'll be like, you sick and tired of shit? I was too. And so is Chili's. Come down to Chili's for our certainly not microwaved food, and you'll probably be satisfied with it.
Certainly not tired of shit.
You can tell you were workshopping that as it like unfolded.
Yeah, you have to get like the angle, like so
basically-
the dog goes to the bathroom. Pan up.
Basically, like that was like a rap battle where you like someone threw out, say, okay, make a commercial starting with a dog pooping.
Yeah,
And you just went from there.
Yep. And then in my head, the view, like, so the dog goes to the bathroom, and then you view Brendan Bernardino looking up, but the camera, he's looking at you. So you're basically looking at Brennan, because you're looking at Brennan from the vantage point of the poop, and he's looking down at the poop, and you get the vantage point of the poop. And then he says, like, I'm not picking that up. Cut to Chili's commercial. Thank you. Money. You're welcome.
I'm picturing it like you're looking through a magnifying glass upward, and he's just got this scowl on his face, like, ugh, I'm not picking that up.
Like you look up like this, and you see Brendan Bernardino looking down, like, ugh, I'm not picking that up. Come on down to Chili's. We also won't pick up shit. Boom.
You're tired of shit. We're tired of shit. Have our $5 apps. Let's go.
Come get our egg rolls.
Yeah.
Our pot stickers, they're not like this shit lying on the floor that Brendan Bernardino won't pick up.
That's the ultimate, like from watching Gordon Ramsay TV shows. Not that I eat at fancy restaurants, but from watching his shows, the ultimate red flag of a restaurant is when it has a menu that has like burgers, Chinese food, Mexican food, Indian food, like all sorts of different types of food, because there's no way there's a chef that exists that can cook all of them, well, which means it's just being reheated because it comes frozen. So anyway, sorry,
I never
Chili.
thought about that. What about Cheesecake Factory? Same thing,
Bro. That is the quintessential example. I love Cheesecake Factory, but also, dude, look how big that menu is. It's right in your face. Like, there's no way. You go to a restaurant, you know what's a good sign, Gordo? You go to the restaurant, you order something, and they say, we're actually out of that today. That means it's fresh. So you're like, oh, crap, you don't have it, but at least it's fresh food. Boom.
But who cares if it?
You're
still not getting it.
We went after the game on Saturday to watch the Celtics at what's that new on David Ortiz Way, the new brewery there?
We
Mighty
went there.
Squirrel?
Yes.
Yeah,
Taco. Squirrel.
No. What is Mighty Squirrel?
Mighty Squirrel. I was just there a few hours ago.
Yeah, Mighty Squirrel. So we go there after, and we get the menu, and every single food item out of stock, 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 out of stock.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
well, someone did not plan accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, if everything is out of stock, that's not good. But like, if there's an item and they don't have it, that means they probably get it fresh every day and they ran out. So it's like, all right, this is a place I should come back to earlier next time, but at least it's fresh.
You want to know what else is out of stock right now?
The Bruins. Sorry,
they are out of stock. There's also Josh Wincowski's are out of stock in Boston with the Red Sox right now because he was just demoted to AAA to make room for Brian Bayo to come up and make his start Sunday. I think this move constitutes a surprise, though it did kind of trickle through my head. I think we briefly went over this at one point when we were discussing Criswell's role, which I want to get Rob's take on in a little bit, but I want to touch on this Josh Wincowski stuff before we get there. Rob, were you surprised when Wincowski got optioned, or did you kind of see the writing on the wall first?
I was a little surprised because you have guys like Boozer or Zach Kelly or whoever, like who they obviously didn't have nearly as grandiose plans for as Wincowski, because Wincowski was supposed to be, the failsafe. Wincowski was supposed to be the 7th, maybe 8th inning guy. But then you start thinking about it, and they're like, well, you've shown signs, but not the type of signs where we say you are of value in the 8th inning. You are of value in high leverage spots. What his value was up until that point was, giving you 3 pretty good innings to start a game. And maybe they just said, all right, the real Josh Wincowski value for this team is to be what Cooper Criswell was to start the year. The starter, the fail-safe starter. Like this last year he was something else. We went into this year thinking he was something else, but now we've adjusted our thinking. We have to adjust the way he's pitching a little bit and put him in Worcester and make him into a starter. So, and also, like, I do think that I don't know how bad that ankle is. I don't know, like, how much the symbiotic nature with what they're asking him to change is. I don't know. But all I know is this. It just comes down to me of what is the most valuable thing for what they need. And I think that guys like Zach Kelly, he was perceived as more valuable. That's what we saw on Sunday, right? That was where Zach Kelly pitched. That was Winkowski's spot before.
Yeah, no, it was. And it's interesting just because you foresee things like Josh Wincowski now. And there's a lot of value in having that depth starting pitching available in the minors. We've seen it each of the last 3 years, how valuable that can be. And we've seen it this year with Cooper Criswell coming up. Do we think that Josh Wincowski going down to fill that role, because Garrett Whitlock's going to come back, Isaiah Campbell's going to come back. Is there another reliever that's coming back that I'm forgetting about? I feel like there's another. Regardless, even if there's not, there's 2 guys coming back. 2 guys are going to have to go down. Granted, I suppose Isaiah Campbell has an option. He could be one of them, but someone's going to have to exit the rotation. If Whitlock's going to start, what do we think's going on with Cooper Criswell? I mean, he pitched 5 innings with 9 strikeouts, came out absolutely firing against the Angels in this, or who the hell did they just play? The Nationals. They came out firing against the Nationals, 9 strikeouts. It was the best Cooper Criswell has looked in his big league career. It's hard to envision them pulling him from the rotation, but you have to remember Garrett Whitlock looked great when he was here, and he's probably the guy that most people on the team think was the most changed by this new pitching program. So it's hard to envision him going to the bullpen. Does Cooper Criswell go to the bullpen? Does Cooper Criswell go down to AAA? Now got 2 major league caliber depth starters to pick from? I don't know. Sammy, I want your take on this, because we talked about this a little bit, but that was before Wincowski went down.
Yeah, well,
so now with Wincowski down, what do you think?
For Criswell, I still like him in that, like, once Whitlock comes back and the rotation is full again, I like Criswell in that kind of a nicer version of the Chase Anderson role, where he's a reliever that comes in and pitches 4 or 5 innings. Like, sometimes it's going to be in a not so savory situation. That's just the nature of that role. But ideally you have let's say like Pivetta. Pavetta's still getting his feet underneath him. Let's say he pitches 4 innings. It's a close game. Then you bring in Criswell and he gives you another 3 or 4. I think that's a great role for him. Now, like I said, sometimes he's going to need to get into a game and he's going to have to get his multiple innings, and it's going to be in a blowout one way or the other. Not ideal, but I think that's part of it. And if there's not a role for him in the rotation in the major league level, I think that's the next best option.
Rob, where are you at on Criswell's role when Whitlock comes back?
So I think you send him down. And the reason is because what is his value? What is his biggest value to the team? And that is of being the fail-safe starter. And somebody else is going to get hurt in the starting rotation. There's going to be some problem. And why, you don't know what Winkowski's going to be, but you have a pretty good idea what Criswell is going to be. We know how this works, is that, yeah, you're sad about being sent down, but you're going to be back in a month because of some reason. And so what is the most valuable thing is to keep this guy stretched out as a starter, because if you start putting him in these like high leverage spots, which he's earned, like I would, if you had another answer to be the fail-safe starter, then fine. But you don't. Winkowski, we don't know if he's that. Richard Fitz isn't that ready. Like, so Cooper Criswell is a valuable guy, but his value is half being waiting things out in Worcester. And listen, like, it stinks because you should be able to ride a guy who's this good. but they're not gonna. I mean, that's the thing. They're not gonna take. You just said it. They're not taking Whitlock out of the rotation. They're not taking Pivetta and Bayo and Crawford and Houck. They're not taking these guys out of the rotation for now. It is what it is. But what's interesting to me about Criswell, and this is sort of off this topic. So I interviewed him today, and two things I asked him. Number one, which was, it might have been a reach, but I had to ask him, have they approached you about a contract?
Ooh.
Gotta ask.
Right? And so this was my thinking. He's 1 year, $1 million, right?
But isn't he under team control with like rookie deal and RBers and stuff? Like, don't they have like 6 years on him?
Dude, I don't care. You know?
What did he say?
No. He's like,
He said no.
I wish. Anyway, so it's anytime anyone does well, especially as a starter, you're like, okay, that's interesting. You know, that's an interesting guy. So the other part was, explain to me how you're the guy who left Tampa and became better.
Great question.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. But what did he say?
That is
Well,
good.
because
It's a first.
obviously Tampa's coming in, and you have guys like what's his name?
Zach Littell. I feel like that's
Zach
what you're thinking of.
Littell,
Oh God.
former Red Sox great. Zach Littell,
Sammy, Red Sox legend.
Red
Oh.
Sox legend.
My least favorite term.
Zach Littell. And but Criswell is one of these guys who left and became better. So how did that happen? And it was interesting because I don't want to give it all away, but I guess I'll give it all away, which is, so Tampa says, okay, strike one, strike two, right down the middle. I mean, right down the middle. Catcher, here you go. He said the Red Sox actually have encouraged him, obviously, to throw strikes to begin with, but it was more of on the edges because he's an East-West guy.
Mhm.
So in other words, he can't, like, let's be honest, Criswell can't throw it. If he throws it right down the middle, it's probably not going to go super, super well. But if he has the control, like to pick the edges a little bit and still stay in the strike zone, and he said that's where it was different, where Tampa kept doing what they say, which is best stuff, right down the middle, right down the middle, right down the middle. The Red Sox said, yeah, be in the strike zone, but strike one, strike two, maybe be a little bit more east-west, which again, like I come back to it. We just don't see this where guys leave Tampa and are better.
It's an interesting approach with Criswell because I get it. And I like the example of Jake Diekman as a guy who went to Tampa and found some success.
Oh, he's the ultimate example.
He's a perfect example because he's a guy who should be aiming to throw it right down the middle because he can't locate. But when you aim to throw it down the middle and you can't locate, guess what? You hit the corners, you hit the edges. But when you're a guy like Criswell, because Diekman has electric stuff, that slider is ridiculous. So but Cooper Criswell, he's throwing 90 miles an hour. Guys like him do need to pick his spots.
Well, and the other thing about, this is looking at it from the Tampa perspective, you're right. Diekman was the ultimate example. There was an executive, I said, when they picked up Diekman, they said this will be the ultimate Tampa test, right? When they picked him up. And sure enough, it worked. And talking to Diekman, what he said, yeah, I've had people tell me to throw it down the middle before, but when you have the Tampa Bay Rays telling you to throw it down the middle, it hits different. He admitted that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just to put a bow on the Criswell thing because we've had this discussion, but Rob, I think I still side with you on sending him down, and I feel bad saying that because he obviously doesn't deserve it. If the Red Sox had a shortage in the bullpen and they were employing relievers, like if Zach Kelly wasn't getting it done, if Cam Boozer wasn't getting it done, then that's a different discussion. But these guys are getting it done. Cam Boozer came in and threw a 7-pitch inning today. Like he's a left-handed arm. Those are valuable. Having multiple of those guys on the team, like you see how much easier it is to manage a game with two as opposed to one, which we've seen them do in the past couple of years. it feels wrong, but at the same time, I don't want him only throwing 2 innings.
Yeah.
Like, why send Zach Kelly or Cam Boozer to AAA to throw 1 to 2 innings down there and have Cooper Criswell shorten his what? I don't know. To shorten to 1 or 2 innings, because that's what it would end up being if he took over the pen role. Because you're not going to DFA Chase Anderson, and if you did, you'd just be wasting Criswell in super low leverage situations.
Yeah, I just hate to send a guy who's performing as well as him down, but like you make good points. I'm not on team send him down, but I don't think it's
It feels wrong.
Yeah, it feels wrong, but I would understand it if they did it. I think you can just repurpose that Anderson role because these guys are pitching well, but they're still not going that deep into games, all of them. Like, I can't say that for everyone. Like Bayo did today, on and off. But still, it's not like everyone's going deep into games. You're still going to need a multi-inning guy. And if Criswell, if you shorten him from a 4 to 5 inning guy to a 3 to 4 inning guy, and he's still on the major league roster, it's not that big of a difference.
But when is that coming though? When is that situation coming? Like so many of these guys, like that was like for Tanner Houck when he would go 4 innings. He doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, you can do it for Whitlock's coming back. You could do it for Pavetta. He doesn't go deep into games.
So
Bayo's been
I agree with that for a little bit.
There's
a little
options.
bit.
I think
it's not always going to be perfect.
I think if you keep him, he's a multi-inning guy, right? He's pitching 2 innings at a whack. So you're saying, oh, he's pitching 2 innings at a whack. Well, he can morph into, if you need a starter, you can morph into a 3-inning guy like Wincowski did, right? 3 or 4 inning guy. But to me, the way that I look at it is that when one of these other starters goes down for whatever reason, I want the guy who, forget about 4 innings. I want the guy who has the capability to throw 6 innings, like Criswell it was trending toward. I want that guy because if you don't have that guy, then you're doing what we know is a disaster, which is stretching out the bullpen even more. Because now you're like, oh, well, we'll throw in the 3-inning guy. Like they were. That was a recipe for disaster last year, and it was trending to be a recipe for disaster this year. So
we know other starters are going to go down. It's unavoidable. We hope and pray every year that it's not going to happen, but you can't run into an 0-4 type season, especially these days. Like, how long did it take for multiple Red Sox starting pitchers, not counting Lucas Giolito, to go down once the season started this year? Like, it's great that they're all coming back healthy, but we know that Cooper Criswell is going to be needed again in a starter role. And I agree with you, Rob. It would be tough to take 3 potentially to build back up to where he is even now. So yeah, it'd be tough.
But
I don't want
like,
to keep
one last thing. Like, if you take a step back and look at the situation, how awesome is this that we're talking about having too many good pitchers right now, and you got to send one down? This was the opposite of what we thought would happen with the pitching staff.
But here's the thing: we don't know. Like we don't know what Nick Pavetta is going to be. Off of that last one. We don't know
too many options, I should say. Too many options.
We don't know what friend of the program Garrett Whitlock is going to be. And that's where it gets uncomfortable. But, I think that the way that things are right now, there's no other way around it because those guys aren't going to the bullpen. Yeah. So
I should rephrase. I should say too many options. Like we were talking in the offseason about like, is Jason Alexander going to get some starts for the Red Sox? And now we're talking like Criswell's been so good, it feels wrong to send him down. We have Whitlock coming back. So it's just a way better situation pitching wise than I ever would have imagined. And let me be happy.
Listen, Cooper Criswell, the fact that you would have to send him down after he finally gave a great line in the I don't want my infielders picking their noses line. So yeah,
that's true.
He's trending in the right direction.
Shout out Cooper Criswell, because you're right, Sammy. It is interesting when you take a step back and just remember the conversations that we had all offseason on this podcast, on radio, all over the place, was not trusting most of these guys to be big league starters, not to mention frontline big league starters, which many of them have pitched like to this point. Right. So it's a good problem to have.
We looked at Criswell.
It's a good problem.
Criswell specifically, we looked at him as like, oh, I'm so sick and tired of the Red Sox picking up these project guys who failed elsewhere, especially in Tampa Bay. He didn't work out in Tampa. How's he going to work out in Boston? And now we're like, oh, it feels wrong to send the guy down. He's been so good. So just trying to inject some positivity into this very often negative town of sports. Go Sox.
Yeah. Shout out Cooper Criswell. We talked to him today too. Very, very nice guy. Very polite. Very
good
polite.
Stash too. Underrated mustache.
Good stash. Rob, before we let you go, because we're gonna do a quick recap and preview after we let you go, but quick series MVP from you. Sox took 2 out of 3 in this one. Kind of a weird series to think about an MVP, just because no one really stands out. They won 2, so you could pick a starting pitcher. A couple of relievers pitched well in both the wins. Who stood out to you the most?
That's a rough, like you said, their offense still stunk. I'm going to go with that. This is the thing that just smacked me right in the face at the end of the game. I'm going to go with Connor Wong, because if Jacob Young, I mean, it's insane that he threw out Jacob Young at the end of the game. It really is. Like, if just because of that play, he should get MVP. The guy, Jacob Young, had been thrown out once in his entire major league career, and that was because he overslid a bag. And you have Kenley Jansen on the mound, who is almost impossible not to steal against. And you get this situation, first pitch, boom, and Connor Wong out of nowhere throws this guy out to end the game. And I just wrote about this. I said, it's time to say, give it, Connor Wong an attaboy, because I do feel like Connor Wong, he has the shadow of the Mookie Betts trade looming over him all the time. It's just how it is. And now, okay, well, he's splitting time with Reese McGuire. But who is the most consistent offensive player on the Red Sox right now? It's Connor Wong. And
he's been doing it all this year.
And by the way, the second fastest catcher in baseball, if you can name the first fastest one, I'll give you $1.
Real Muto.
That was going to be my guess too.
Or is it MJ Melendez? Even though he mostly plays.
It is Real Muto, but I was actually looking also of the kid from the White Sox.
Oh, certainly you're talking about Yasmani Grant. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he's talking. He's talking about Martin Maldonado, notable speedster.
Cuero.
Yeah, he's super fast.
Cuero, or is he even up yet?
No, the kid they got in the trade last year. Oh my goodness!
Not the Giolito one.
Yeah,
I'm looking.
I mean, they did get a catcher for Giolito. But
Corey Lee.
Yeah, Corey Lee.
Corey Lee. Like, if you go to Baseball Savant for Corey Lee, he has like the best pop time in the majors. That's like one of the best throwing arms in the majors. He's fast. He's got it all. I don't know if he's any good, but whatever. But come back to Connor Wong, is that what I know that, like, this is coming into the last game against the Nationals. He'd only thrown one guy out all year, but still, can we sit back and appreciate the final play? This wasn't like they're sending some jamoke to steal a base against Kenley Jansen. They're sending a guy who had been caught once in his major league career.
And it was against Kenley Jansen.
It was against Kenley Jansen.
In a high leverage situation.
To end the game. I mean, if the guy gets it second, who knows what's going to happen? So, yeah.
No, that's an interesting pick, and I like it, especially after the first game, because the Nationals ran wild in game 1, and to see how many outs they made on the base paths, particularly in game 3. Because Connor, so he caught the first out of the game was on a caught stealing. The last out of the game was on a caught stealing.
First time
he had
ever.
A third, right?
Yeah, second inning.
Was that the first time ever?
First time ever. First out, last out.
Oh, wow. You got it. Okay, so he's definitely the series MVP. He has to.
He's
be.
Getting
He
records.
made history.
Yeah,
okay,
he made history.
I was gonna say Criswell because
I do want to ask you guys just because I wrote it doesn't necessarily make it true. As was evidenced when Devers told us all that he had never had anyone intentionally walked in front of him in his life, and then we all find out he actually had. But with Connor Wong, like he is a legit major league catcher, right? He's a legit major league catcher that offers a unique skill set, but there's always sort of the Mookie Betts thing hanging over his head. And before there's always the Mookie Betts thing hanging over his head, and soon enough there's going to be the Kyle Teal thing hanging over his head. Like that's how it is. But we can agree, I think, that he's a legit major league catcher. There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. He proved it last year that he's a legitimate big leaguer, but he's proven this year that he's a legitimate big league starter.
But one critique. He has a OPS over 900 right now. Stop bunting. Don't bunt.
Oh, yeah, I didn't love
my head almost caught on fire in the stands at Fenway today. Gordo looked at me like, "Oh my god." But by the way, if he bunted for a hit, I would still be like, "Don't bunt." I hate that. It's sacrifice bunt, sure, but bunt for a hit kind of thing, like he was kind of in between. I hate that. Don't do it. Reese McGuire is the only guy who I allow to bunt.
This day will go down as the day Boston fans had two chants. At Fenway, they chanted, "Will you stop bunting?" And in the Bruins, they chanted, "Shoot the puck." So
that was so cringe, Bruins fans.
A little bit.
Shoot the puck. Did we just start watching hockey? But yeah, no. I agree. I'll change I was gonna say Criswell, but I'll go with Rob. I'll vote for Connor, Sun Han Wong for my series MVP. He was good. He also was good in the first game, 2 for 4. So go Connor.
I like the pick. I'm going to vote for Chris Martin for mine. He pitched in both the wins and came in a big spot against the meat of the order in the second game. Big pickoff in that game as well. Came in again in the third game. Lights out.
You know why?
Why what? Why he was lights
Connor
out or
Wong.
why he came in?
Connor Wong did this thing, which means pickoff. Boom. So credit to Wong for that.
Hey, credit to Wong. Credit to Wong for OPS over
by the
900.
Way, speaking of making major league history, Chris Martin has to have made major league history for most line drives back of his head this year.
Oh, was gonna mention that. That was on the tip of my tongue. 2 times that's already happened. I thought I can't believe that guy's
2 times. No lie.
2 times
5 times.
Successfully 2 times. He's caught 2.
Oh.
Didn't one of them happen in spring? Didn't he get it in spring training too, or am I misremembering something? Didn't that happen while we were there at a game?
Something happened to him while we were there. Yeah, you're right. What was it?
I don't know. Either way,
that's
yes,
why
he does get too many line drives at his face, and I don't know how he made that catch.
We should
That was wild.
We should start like an advocacy program. Like leave Chris Martin alone. Stop attacking. Leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
You know where I knew it was bad luck that something he was getting a line drive back in his head. Well, I gave him a baseballs and boring bracelet. You know, one of the new rubber bracelets.
What did he do with it?
And it broke when he.
Oh no! Oh, that's the old. I'm actually shocked it didn't hit him in the head. I'm shocked he caught it. That's wild. That's bad voodoo. Honestly, I would have thought the opposite because, like, the bracelet, like catching a ball like that is the ultimate sign of good luck. Breaking a baseball isn't boring. Bracelet is like a cardinal sin.
Well, it happened to Casas today too.
Uh-oh. Are you going to
everyone
call the
else?
manufacturer?
Yeah, everyone else has been okay. We're gonna ride it out. We'll ride it out. Where's the Play Tessie bracelets coming?
I was designing them and then I got sidetracked, but I do have the tab up on my computer. Oh, I know why I got sidetracked because my computer's in the shop. I had to pay $250 for a new fucking battery. It's horrible.
It's probably because you went to some bracelet store that's also giving viruses to your computer.
There's like a gazillion of these things. I don't know where to go. And they're all similarly priced. They all look fine on the computer.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to hook you up with my chief marketing officer, and she will steer you in the right direction.
I love it. But give me. I would appreciate a card, a business card. I need a business card.
All right.
But we don't want to keep you too long, Bradford. But we appreciate you jumping on with us. Always the best. The king, the podfather, the king of WEI, the king of baseball podcasting, Rob Bradford, absolute legend.
They said that 4 hours of baseball talk on WI couldn't happen, but we did it the other day. Thank you for helping. And and you guys are doing great. I sincerely mean it when I love seeing you guys at Fenway doing your thing. I know the players like it. And so keep up the good work. Yes, let me just say this. Let it be said, let it be done.
Thank you.
Yes.
I was waiting. Jeez.
Let it be said.
Let it be done.
Let it be said. Let it be done.
And then
Rob Bradford.
And there you go.
Big thanks to Rob Bradford for jumping on with us. Always love talking Sox with Bradfo. We talk Sox with Bradfo on most Saturdays, depending on the time of the game. You can tune into those conversations on WEI. Usually it's from 1 to 3. It depends on the game time.
And usually produced by me. So you can't get rid of me.
No, you can get out of here because Joe Braverman attacked me viciously over the weekend. I don't even remember what it was for. Braverman, get back in here. What did you? You said I was about something.
No, it was just like a conversation we had on a Baseball Isn't Boring show like a couple weeks ago. I completely forgot what it was about, but I know Bradfo and Sammy were getting on you for like being like in the middle.
Yeah, you had a fence up your ass, buddy. Fence rider.
Bradfo asked me my confidence level on the team, and this was before the 2 wins, and I said 4 out of 10. And I'm going to stick with the 4 out of 10. I'm not going to get seduced because my reasoning was this is a team that is going to be in the middle. They're going to get cold, which they were. They're going to get hot, which I don't even want to say they're hot right now, but they will get hot.
Confidence in what? What is the confidence? Confidence that they'll show up or confidence that they'll playoffs?
Like playoffs. I actually, no, it couldn't have been playoffs. So I would have given less than 4.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like
Just general,
2 or
just
3.
It's like a vibe check. But Sammy, just because we're already 45 minutes into this thing, any other notes? I'm looking through my notes just to see if there's anything notable to recap in this series. The Sox did win 2 out of 3. Not a whole lot of notable stuff. If you don't have anything, I have like a couple of things.
No,
but
go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay.
We've covered a lot.
I guess 2 of them are just shout outs. First, shout out to Brendan Bernardino for working literally every day and literally never giving up a run. Also, shout out that bunt double play in game 2 that Reese and Cedon Rafaela turned in the 6th was absolutely ridiculous. Saved the game. So shout out for that. But the play that I want to talk about for the game 2 was the intentional walk. And Rob was just talking about it, how Rafi said he'd never been he had never had someone in front of him intentionally walk to get to him. But just to repaint the picture of the situation here, the Nationals brought on a lefty specialist because due up was Rafaela, but then Duran, Willier, back to a righty and O'Neill, but then Devers. So there were Duran and Willier, who are notoriously known for not hitting lefties as well, specifically Willier. So they brought in the lefty specialist for that. He gets Rafaela to pop out. Ref Snyder pinch hits for Duran, hits a little dribbler, but it luckily just glides to the third base bag and hits it. So he gets the single. Romy pinch hits for Willier, hits what should have been a double play ball, but CJ Abrams, who, by the way, goddamn, that guy is awesome.
He's
so good.
Holy
so
crap.
good.
Yeah.
But he threw this one, he threw it away. Romy gets to second base. So that brings up Tyler O'Neill. So you've got 2 outs, man on second. That's the go-ahead run. Tyler O'Neill's up. It's a righty. So either you're going to pitch to Tyler O'Neill in a lefty-righty matchup with a guy who is known for getting lefties out, or you could put Tyler O'Neill on and get the lefty-lefty matchup, but it's Devers. O'Neill's been cold. He throws 2 balls to O'Neill, and then they wave the white flag. He goes to first. They bring Devers up. Devers, I was there with my dad and my friend. I told them this ball is gone. Actually, I think I tweeted it that this ball is gone. It was not gone, but he roped the double over the left fielder's head. Both runs scored, and that was the game.
Yeah,
Sammy, in the moment, were you happy that they intentionally walked O'Neill to get to Devers? Did you think it was stupid? Would you have done it yourself?
Yeah, I mean, in a vacuum, you go 2-0 against Tyler O'Neill. You're at Fenway Park. It's like the best possible park for Tyler O'Neill. Yeah, you might want to walk him to get to the lefty, but baseball needs context. Tyler O'Neill has been ice cold for kind of a while now. It's been a few weeks, I'd say, where he hasn't really been that hot. So when they walked him, I kind of gave a little giggle. It felt like that. There's no chance this doesn't backfire on Washington. You just can't walk a guy to get to Rafael Devers. That's insane. The concept is just crazy. But like I just said, baseball needs context. So I understand why the guy did it. He was playing the matchups. Martinez, the Washington manager. I understand why he did it. I just like you had one of the coldest guys on the team up. I know you're behind 2-0 in the count, but for Rafael Devers, you're walking that guy to get to Rafi, and immediately backfires. One of those kind of a funny baseball moment, honestly. But yeah, you had a feeling it was going to happen, like you said.
Yeah, and quick message from Coop in the back, but it's a good question. Tyler O'Neill, as you said, been struggling for a little while. 3 strikeouts again. We watched him today. I want to say it was after the last out he made, striking out. He was pretty frustrated. Usually a pretty composed guy after he gets out. He knows that strikeouts are kind of part of his game, but he was pretty frustrated after this one. Are you worried about him at all? We talked about his stats on the last podcast. Been cold for a while. Kind of continued in this series. I had him as my crystal bomb pick. He almost put one out into left field that barely missed the foul pole, so I will not get a point for that. But are you at all worried?
Well, yeah, that was the context I wanted to add. So he's been cold, and the pitch before, he roped the ball, and it was just foul. He was a couple feet away from having a home run, snapping out of that cold streak, and then he strikes out. So I understand the frustration. It's unlike him, like you said. Am I worried about him? Not really. It's not even mid-May yet. It's too early for me to be worried about anyone really, unless it's super glaring. He had a hot start. He's cooled off. He'll probably heat up again. So no, not worried about him yet.
That's where I'm at too. He's going to heat up again. Strikeouts are part of his game. When it's like the Red Sox. If you're going to strike out, you're going to go into cold spells. He's going to go into cold spells. He's going to get hot too. He'll be back. Hopefully, this team is competitive and he can finish off the season with a bang. If not, hopefully he's hot at the deadline and they can get good value for him. But yeah I'm not worried about Tyler O'Neill.
Did you notice his swing today? So Gordo and I had an interesting vantage point from the game today. We were kind of like first base, like a little behind and up first base. We had a good view of like when right-handed batters check swing. We could totally see Tyler O'Neill's swing is super interesting because it looks like he barely moves at all and then just rotates his upper body and swings. It's not as much legs, I feel, as you would normally see in a Major League Baseball player's swing. But I guess when you have muscles the size of friggin' Mercury, you can do that.
I feel like he just got absolutely fooled by the pitch. I feel like that's what it had to be on that one. I don't know.
A few of them.
Yeah. I maybe he's just not seeing the ball as well. I don't know. Like, I would say he could use a day off, but he had a couple days off last week just because the team had days off. He's going to get out of it. Like,
who's a guy on Washington who had the really weird looking? Oh, Lipscomb. What the fuck was that swing? Like all 3 of his swings were like.
He's a weird little player, huh? Because
Strange, man. What
guys,
the hell were those hacks? Like the little.
Yeah. That's his game, man. Just pesky little fast dude. I don't know. Yeah, he is a weird dude. We have to figure out if our guy Sean Palmer ever got down to say hi to him. We saw him at Fenway Park today. Shout out Sean Palmer. Sean Palmer. I'm pissed that I forgot to say that to him.
Sean Palmer.
Sean Palmer. Did we decide? What is your official series MVP vote? Because Pat texted his in. By the way, Pat, I believe will be back next episode. Not confirmed, but he's been doing a bunch of graduation stuff. But I believe he's back next episode. But he texted his vote in for Cooper Criswell. Rob said Connor Wong. I said Chris Martin. I know you were on the fence about Wong and Criswell. No pressure, but you are picking the MVP here.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Criswell, but Wong I think overall did more, and I didn't realize he's like not set a record, but I guess made some loose baseball history, first and last outs of a game for a catcher, and he's hitting aside from that stupid bunt. So yeah, I'll go with Connor Wong. He deserves it, and what a season he's had so far to this point. Good for Connor.
And not for nothing, I'm going to look this up as I'm saying it, but I'm pretty sure he was the only guy in the first game to have multiple hits.
What does that mean?
He was.
What does not for nothing mean? I say it too. I don't know what it means.
It means that it's not worth nothing to say this. Like, it is worth something to say this. Like, this is worth saying. Okay. He had 2 hits in the first game. No one else did.
Okay.
Worthy of worthy of
Not for
airtime
nothing.
on this
We need
podcast.
Coop in here.
Not for nothing. The idiom "not for nothing" actually means what's about to be said or done is not to be said or done in vain. What's about to be said or done has a cause, a purpose,
Yes.
a reason,
Yeah.
or
There you go.
a use. Thank you. Pop me out.
Gordo. You nailed it, Gordon.
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 Let's get into the series preview. We got a 4-game series with the Rays. We are running a little long, so we'll try to be a little bit quick with the preview here. 4 games with the Rays coming up. They are 20-21. Certainly not as good this year without the likes of their entire pitching rotation, notably Shane McClanahan and Drew Rasmussen. Though they did just get Taj Bradley back. They've got Zach
Springs.
Eflin still. Jeffrey Springs. That's the other one I'm forgetting.
Boz.
Goddamn.
They have Boz. Is he still hurt?
Has he-
He's been hurt for
I don't think
9
he's
years.
back yet. Yeah, he's always hurt. But yeah, Rays are 20-21. They just dropped 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, but they have won 6 out of their last 9. They were on a nice little winning streak before this series. We'll see how much that can continue. But the pitching matchups here, we've got Zach Eflin versus Cutter Crawford in the first game on Monday. Eflin's got a 3.75 ERA coming off 7 innings of 1-run ball and 3 strikeouts, though it was against the White Sox. Cutter Crawford, 1.75 ERA, coming off an impressive 6-inning, 2 earned run effort with 6 strikeouts against Atlanta. Game 2, Aaron Savali, their big trade acquisition. Last midseason, they traded one of their top prospects, Kyle Manzardo, to Cleveland. He just got called up to make his debut. He is facing off against Nick Pivetta. Savali's got a 5.88 ERA, coming off 4 2/3 of 2 earned run ball with 4 strikeouts against the White Sox. Nick Pivetta's got a 3.60 ERA, coming off 4 innings, 5 earned runs versus Atlanta. It was his first start back from injury. Game 3. This is kind of the most interesting. I shouldn't even say kind of. This is the most interesting pitching matchup of the series. Taj Bradley versus Tanner Houck. Taj Bradley, top or former top prospect at this point. He is off those lists, but he is a young up-and-comer. Made his first start of the season, was hurt, but in his first start went 6 innings, 1 run with 7 strikeouts against the Yankees. Very impressive outing for him. Tanner Houck has a 2.24 ERA coming off 7 innings of 3-run ball with 4 strikeouts against the Nationals. A lot of dink and dunk hole finding in that start. Don't let the 3 runs fool you. He was really good again. 4th game, 4-game series. We've got Red Sox legend Zach Littell. It's for you, Sammy. Zach Littell going against current Red Sox legend Cooper Criswell. Zach Littell has a 3.02 ERA coming off 5 2/3 innings of 2 earned run ball with 3 strikeouts against the Yankees. Cooper Criswell, he's got a 2.10 ERA coming off 5 innings of 2 earned run ball with 9 strikeouts against Washington. Hitters to watch here. A couple of their guys having down years. Their 2 most notable hitters, Yandy Diaz and Randy Arozarena. Diaz has a 669 OPS this year. Randy Arozarena has a 592. So both having down years, though. In their last 7 games, Arozarena has a 1073 OPS and Yandy Diaz has a 1052 OPS. So the Rays are going to go as those guys are going to go. Their best hitter this year has been Isak Paredes with a 901 OPS. And in his last 7, he's got a 994 OPS. They've got this guy named Johnny DeLuca, who I'd never heard of, but he's got a 1017 OPS in his last 7 games.
God, that's so stupid. That's so Tampa Bay. Some guy who sounds like an auto name generated video game player, and he's sick. I can't stand them.
Yeah. So
Johnny DeLuca? Are you kidding me?
Johnny DeLuca is going to have like 15 RBIs in the series against the Red Sox. The way the
Johnny
Rays
DeLuca. I have no clue who that is. I can't stand him just for being on the Rays. I hate Johnny DeLuca.
Johnny
Coop went
DeLuca.
to high school with a guy named Johnny DeLuca. That's cool.
Wow.
Coop. Different Johnny DeLuca, though. I can't stand this guy. Oh.
I hope Coop's Johnny DeLuca is listening to this. We hate you.
So Johnny DeLuca is maybe, and if he listens to the show, I apologize, Johnny DeLuca. You're the most Johnny DeLuca guy I've ever met. Like, it's
the fact that we know that that's an insult.
However, however you are picturing Johnny DeLuca in your mind right now, you, the listener, think of what a Johnny DeLuca is right now. That is him. I promise you that's him.
Oh, look at this guy. This guy looks like such a dingus. He's a total dingus. Johnny DeLuca, we're probably going to meet him at Fenway. He's going to be like the nicest guy ever, and we're going to feel terrible for saying all this. But Johnny friggin' DeLuca, dude, fuck you, buddy. You're not welcome here.
Yeah, Johnny DeLuca's not welcome here, especially if he's going to drive in 15. But, Sammy, let's get your series prediction here. And the sequence is important. Either Joe or Coop in the back, make sure you take down the sequence here. Because if you get the exact sequence, you get 2 points.
Right. 4-game
Ooh,
series.
actually, hold on. Before that, Joe, pop yourself in here if you've got, because my computer's in the shop, so I don't have our last series predictions up. I don't know how we all did with that.
So, according to last predictions, you both predicted 2 out of 3, which was correct, although it wasn't in the correct order. So that gives Sammy for 7, Pat has 4, and Gordo has 2.
I cannot believe I've only predicted 2 series right this year. That's embarrassing.
You're a typical Johnny DeLuca.
I am a Johnny DeLuca when it comes to predicting series, but I'm going to get the exact sequence right this time. But I'm going to let you go first, Sammy, so I can copy whatever you say.
All right, game 1, Cutter versus Eflin. Eflin was my AL Cy Young Award winner prediction. I know that's a hot take, but I really like the peripheral stats. That said, he hasn't been as great as I thought he'd be. And then Cutter, oh my God. What can you say about Cutter Crawford? Nobody can hit the guy. So Red Sox win game 1, probably like 19-0. Game 2, sorry, I'm going to quickly run through the matchups again to give my reasoning. Pivetta, Savali. Savali's a very good pitcher. He's having a bad season. Pivetta, kind of weird in between. Red Sox win that one too. I think, actually, no. Red Sox lose this one. Sorry, Pivetta. I think Savali, let's see, last 2 starts against the Red Sox, he's been pretty damn good. Yeah.
He's a frustrating watch because he can actually be pretty good, but when you watch him pitch, you don't think he should be.
And did you know he went to Northeastern and struck out David Ortiz in spring training? I can't wait to hear that.
Doesn't he live in oh God, he lives somewhere in Massachusetts in the offseason.
I thought he was a Connecticut guy.
I think he was, but I think he lives in Mass in the offseason. If he does, you will know it by the end of the series because I vaguely remember them saying it no fewer than 100 times the last time.
Yeah, right.
So you're taking okay, what do you got? You've got
win, loss. Okay, Tanner Houck pitching game 3. I'm not going to friggin' pick against Tanner Houck, so that's a win. And then game 4, this is the tough one. It's the matchup of guys who swap teams. Zach Little versus Cooper Chris very well. I'll go Red Sox. So we're going win, loss, win. Red Sox win 3 out of 4. The vibes are going to be high again. Everyone's going to be talking about you can't sell at the deadline. You got to supplement this team, and then they'll lose like 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals, and everyone will say this team sucks again. And that's baseball, Susan.
Okay, so Sammy is win, loss, win. And for the record, Pat has submitted his pick. He is also win, loss, win. So you guys are both 3 out of 4. I'm also taking 3 out of 4, but I'm not going to take the same order. I think they're going to win the Cutter start against Eflin. I think Pivetta pitches well against the Rays and beats Aaron Savali. The Taj Bradley thing scares me. Red Sox are a high strikeout team. He's a high strikeout pitcher. I think it's going to be one of those annoying like 2-1, 2-0 games. And then I think Cooper Criswell, they don't lose when he pitches. They literally don't. So 3 out of 4, we're going win, loss, win. Pat is not here. Therefore, I am taking over the Crystal Bomb segment. So it's time for Crystal Bomb.
Oh, you want me to do it? Oh,
yeah.
Bomb it.
Predicting a guy to hit a home run every series. If my memory is correct, neither Sammy or I got this right last podcast, Joe, correct?
Did Red Sox
Everybody
even hit a
was
home run?
over.
Yeah, no, did Red
Willier
Sox hit any home runs?
Willier did in game
Willier. Yeah, Willier was the only Red Sox home run.
First game. Jesus. It's starting to become the Red Sox fault, not our fault. So,
yeah. So, okay, Sammy, Crystal Bomb. All the Rays pitchers this series are right-handers.
Okay,
Which
so
is just to update the standings.
Please,
Gordo
yes.
has 6, Pat has 3, Sammy has 1.
Okay, so I can't take Wong or Devers. I'll ride the hot bat. Give me Thick Willie. You said it. 4 righties. Willie, he's thick. He's even thicker when he's facing a righty. I think he'll probably go 0 for 16 because I picked him, but I'll go with Thick Willie.
No, Sammy, I love that pick. I think he's going deep. Joe, make sure I'm not, because again, I don't have my computer, so I don't know who my pick 2 times ago was, but I'm pretty sure it was Dom Smith, actually, now that I say it.
Yeah, it was. And then who was this series? You picked who? O'Neill.
Okay. I picked O'Neill, and I was that close. So I will not be picking Dom Smith. Even if I could pick Dom Smith, I don't think I would do it. I need to get back on the board here. It's a 4-game series. Devers can hit against the Rays. He's seen these guys. He's going to do it. 4 games. Devers is not going to go those 4 games without going deep. I'm picking Raffy. And Pat is picking Garrett Cooper for the series. So Sammy takes Abreu. I take Devers. And Pat takes Garrett Cooper. Let it be said. Let it be known. Sammy, what is it time for?
Okay. I actually choked when I did that. It's time for guys being dudes.
Yeah.
This week, we are taking a baseball player specifically, who has played for both the Tampa Bay Rays / Devil Rays. Sorry, religious folk out there. I had to say the name. And the Red Sox. They had to play for both teams at some point. That was the most clunky way of explaining that. But you got to pick a player who's played for both Tampa and Boston. The weirder, the better, even though there's no scoring for this. Gordo, who you got?
No losers, just winners.
Yep.
I am going with Dan Wheeler for this one. Dan Wheeler, I feel like most people probably think that he's really insignificant, but I don't. So he pitched for the Rays for, I believe, 4 consecutive seasons before signing with the Red Sox in 2011. But his final 3 years there, he had a 3.12, a 3.28, and a 3.35 ERA with the Rays. And I was so excited to see the Red Sox sign this guy. We needed the Red Sox to build bullpen depth. They were going all in for 2011. Everyone's all gassed up because they get Adrian Gonzalez and Carl Crawford. I was super gassed up for those, but I was also gassed up for 2 acquisitions, Bobby Jenks and Dan Wheeler. I was really excited for
dude. Talk about
Bobby
thick.
Jenks.
Talk about thick. Bobby Jenks.
Dude, that's not thick. Doesn't even do it. Like thick is just so.
He's busty.
He's lardy Bobby.
Busty Bob.
Busty Bob Jenks.
Hey, what up, Busty Bob?
Yeah, I can't. When the White Sox come to town, I might have to make Bobby Jenks my guys being dudes just for the vibes. But I'm making it Dan Wheeler this time. He was not good when he came over to the Red Sox. Had a 4.38 that year. So, yeah, add it to the list of things that went wrong with that 2011 season.
35, right? 35?
35
Wheeler?
what?
His number?
Number?
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
1 second.
It feels right, though. It feels right. But,
Dan
yeah, let me know.
Wheeler.
Dan Wheeler.
35. Hell yeah.
Wow.
Nailed it.
You're an absolute lunatic with these numbers. I've never seen anyone this good. I'm good at guessing people's ages, but not as good as you are at guessing. That's because it's not even a guess. You just know.
I definitely don't know. I don't know Bobby Jenks' number on the Red Sox. I do know he was 45 on the White Sox.
I'm going to take 55.
I think he was 50, 54.
54 sounds.
Fuck me. I was so close. God damn it. I swear to God, I was going to say 52, and I switched to. I should trust my gut.
Shout out to Bobby Jenks.
Stupid me.
All right, who you got, Sammy?
Okay, this is a weird one because he's a very, very famous Red Sox player who barely played for Tampa. Johnny Damon. Like, nobody thinks of Johnny Damon as a guy who played for Tampa Bay. So that's not an obscure Red Sox player. But for Rays fans, that is certainly obscure. He played 4 seasons with the Red Sox and only 1 with Tampa Bay. But he played 150 games. He actually, was serviceable. He had a 109 OPS plus, 743 OPS, hit 261. He was like a decent player. 16 homers, 19 steals.
Good. And he was good till the end.
And by the way, he was 37. So Johnny Damon, in age 37 season, playing in front of 14 fans in Tampa Bay. Tampa. I can't talk today, man. I don't know what's up with me. It's been a long day. But
Sammy, can you name who Johnny Damon had his joint press conference with when he signed with the Rays?
Hold on. What year? 2011? Joint press conference with the Rays. Nobody signs with the Rays, so I should know this.
My hint will be that I'm pretty sure that he didn't play a single game. If he did, it was no, I don't think he ever played.
Manny?
Yep, very good, Coop. It was Manny.
Yeah. That was going to be my guys being dudes if you would take it.
Do one, Coop.
Say it.
It's Manny.
It's Manny.
I think Manny is the best guys being dudes for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Wait. But did he play for them?
Actually, he did. He played 5 games.
He played 5 games. 17 at-bats.
and
He
then
had a
he got
negative
popped.
negative
0.0.
66.
He was batting 59. Dude, you have to try to be that bad.
He was batting 59, and then he got popped for steroids and was like, fuck it, I'm out of here, man. I'm not serving that shit. No way.
That was it.
Absolute goat.
Yeah, my favorite player of all time. Favorite of all time.
All right, Joe,
I don't
you got
know
one?
how you guys ain't gonna mention Johnny Gomes because he's part
Oh,
of
legend.
the famous and infamous moment. Remember in
Coco
2008,
Crisp.
James Shields, Coco Crisp, Gomes is one of the first people out of the Tampa dugout, and he is pounding the fuck out of Coco Crisp. He's like one of
Big
the three Rays on top of him. And he's part of one of the famous moments with the Sox all throughout the Boston Strong year.
Yeah.
And
Wait, he did something? What did he do with the Sox?
and
No, I'm just
and
saying
he's
there's
part of-
multiple.
and he's a co-owner of the best fantasy football team ever to not make the playoffs.
Oh yeah, right. You helped him
I
with
beat his ass.
I helped him. I helped him not win that league. That Coop came from out of
Oh
nowhere.
yeah, that I won.
That
No
Coop
big deal.
fucking won.
No big deal. As commissioner. Mitch Moreland.
I don't
Yeah.
think was he a Ray?
Mitch Moreland played for every team in the AL East.
No,
No,
you're
you're
thinking
thinking of-
Steve Pierce.
You're thinking of Steve
Oh
Pierce.
god damn
No,
it.
Steve Pierce.
Wrong side of the platoon. Wait, but
Hey,
didn't
Sammy, hold on, Sammy.
no.
If I said Red Sox legend Steve Pierce, would that be right?
Yeah,
Yes.
bro, he won the World
Okay.
Series MVP.
Okay, good.
of
I was
course.
just making sure.
See,
Because
that's why I don't like it
He-
because it gets
He
conflated.
single-handedly killed the Yankees.
Wait, is there a way to get in touch with Steve Pierce? We have to get Steve
There's
Pierce on this
gotta
show.
be.
Bro, you can touch Steve Pierce.
All right, can someone
Um,
kick him out of here? Get out.
Wait, no. Oh, Mitch Moreland. Mitch Moreland played for Oakland. That's what I got it confused with. I knew he played in front of no fans at the end, but it was Soakland. But yeah, those were some good ones. Yeah, Johnny Gomes, great
guys.
one. By the
Some
way, but
guys
the thing-
being
ahead.
dudes. Just
guys being
they were
dudes,
guys being
but the
dudes. What were you
thing
gonna
that
say?
we should remember from that brawl is Coco Crisp's sick head movement because James Shields threw a fucking haymaker right at him and Coco went whoop, nope, bam, fired back. So if that were one-on-one, James Shields is getting friggin' worked all day long on the ground on his back. Coco beating him off, ref pulls him off, he goes nuts, climbs the cage, screams into the crowd, but no, pre being cool, Johnny Gomes ruined that one. But
Yep.
what are you gonna do?
All right,
Enough
Sammy. Before, yeah, do you have any, yeah, okay. Enough said. Do you have any enough said for me today?
I want to talk about what we saw pre-game and the batters' boxes before the game today. That was God. I still
I thought
can't
you were
talk
talking
today.
about something else.
I just said pre-game before the game. Nothing is coming out right today.
Before the pregame.
The pre-game before the game. Seriously though, Tristan Casas out, cartilage injury, sucks. He loves baseball, and today he made that abundantly clear. Gordo, please correct me if I'm exaggerating. Comes out of the dugout in his his jacket, goes into the batter's box, the right-handed batter's box at first, and he stands in it. And I think he was staring at the pitcher's mound where the pitcher would be, or center field, just out in that direction. And he was staring, what, like 15 minutes or so?
20.
Longer? 20?
20.
Okay.
Yep.
And then he would sometimes switch to the left-handed batter's box, and then go back to the right-handed batter's box. He was there for a long, long time. So this guy is the exact, and I mean this in the most complimentary way possible, more confirmation that this is the exact type of like psycho player that Boston fans love, because he so badly wants to be out there. And by the way, there's like a noticeable difference. Tristan in spring training and earlier in the season when he was playing, just being on the field around him before the game compared to now, like he seems down. Understandably, he can't play. So I can't wait for him to be back. That was a sight today. Gabrielle Starr got a photo of it. She posted it on Twitter. If you follow her, it's a good shot of him just staring, waiting. I feel terrified for those baseballs when he's back.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Just like take a second while you're listening to this and think about how hard it would be to like just stare at something for 20 minutes. Not like stare at the TV when like with things happening. Like he's literally staring just like straight ahead of him. That was crazy. My My enough said. I have two enough saids. I want to talk about the first one really quick. Also in the pregame we were talking to Lou Merloni, and a bee flies up and lands on Lou's hair, one of his like front strands, and it's just sitting there. And like Sammy and I are like cowering, like we just both hate bees. And we're like and Lou just like does not move, and we're like, there's a bee on your head. He's like, I don't care.
Dude, no. You have to say what he said. He goes, "It's a fucking bee."
Yeah.
He just doesn't move, and then he just goes, wipes it off.
Then he just like flicks it off. It doesn't go at first, so it took like 2 tries.
Didn't care.
It didn't sting him, just went. So
I would have
that was.
I would have done the
hate
whole
bees.
like moving around, like, is it off? Is it off? But it's a fucking bee.
Yep.
That was great.
Yeah. So Lou Merloni, king of the bees. But my other enough said, I was watching the Celtics, and Dean Wade for the Cavs made his series debut. And
Dean Wade, is that like Johnny DeLuca for basketball?
well, look up a picture of this guy. Joe, if you have a picture of Dean Wade, could you pull it up? I texted you a tweet. Yeah, there you go. I was wondering why I was getting like annoyed looking at Dean Wade, and I figured it out.
Does he look like someone that you know?
He looks like Jordan Montgomery. Look at this. The resemblance is uncanny. If you're listening on podcast form, go look up a picture of Dean Wade and a picture of Jordan Montgomery. They look really similar. So yeah, I hope Dean Wade does not make it hurt this series, because I don't even know if I'd be able to handle if a guy who looks like Jordan Montgomery torched the Celtics. But good to see them win Game 3 and go up 2-1. Hope they continue to win. If you're listening to this on drop day, go Celtics tonight. But yeah, Dean Wade, Jordan Montgomery, lookalikes. Yeah, that's what I got. Sammy, anything else before we wrap this baby up?
Fucking Bruins, man, just depressing. They look so cooked. I hate to be there's no shot kind of guy, but holy shit, has a team ever been more behind the 8 ball after losing Game 4? I feel like I'm attending a funeral for the next game, but we'll see. Crazier things have happened. Can you imagine how funny that would be if they made a 3-1 comeback now without Marchand and Bergeron's retired, Krejci's gone, Swayman's the greatest goaltender you've ever fucking seen. Yeah, they feel so cooked. Thank God for the Celtics.
Yeah, the bees do feel cooked. Watching them blow that 2-0 lead before this, you knew the second that call on the goal didn't get overturned, which is crazy to me because it should have been overturned. But the second it wasn't overturned, you knew they were about to lose their composure and let in another one, and that would be the game. And that's exactly what happened. Could have tied the series up, made it interesting. Still wouldn't have felt that great about the series, but down 3-1, I agree with you, Sammy. It kind of feels cooked. So the Bruins may be more cooked than the Red Sox at this point, who are currently not cooked. Go Sox.
Hey, what, 21-19 record?
Yeah. They've won more than they've lost.
They have 21 is 2 more than 19.
That is true. Not every team can win more than they lose. Some teams have to lose more than they win.
Yeah.
Red Sox are not one of those teams right now.
You would know how the teams are doing. You watch the standings.
I watched the standings.
I don't.
Sammy was shocked today to find out that the Sox were ahead of the Rays. And I was like, buddy, they've been ahead of the Rays like all season.
Who gives a shit? It's May. No, but why you
standings watch? Standing, you got to watch it. That's why they put it on the monster. You got to watch
the standings after the All-Star break. It's what I do every year. The standings don't matter yet. We're so far out. It's May 12th as we record.
You play to win the game, Sammy, and you win the game to improve your spot in the standings. You improve your spot in the standings to make the playoffs. You make the playoffs to win the World Series. Therefore, you got to watch the standings to win the World Series. There you go.
I didn't realize it worked like that. I thought the games didn't count until I started watching the standings. But now I get it.
We're just like in an extended 3-month spring training, pretty much. That's what this is.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go to bed.
All right, this has been episode 72 of Play Tessie. Appreciate you guys tuning in, but before you tune into something else or go about your day or whatever the hell you're going to do, watch the Celtics, I don't know. Go back to work. Do you work? I don't know. Go subscribe. Hit the subscribe button to our podcast, whether you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or the Odyssey app. Hit the subscribe button. Rate us 5 stars. Helps us out a ton. Leave us a comment. Tell us how early is appropriate to watch the standings and how much you hate Dean Wade for looking like Jordan Montgomery. Go to our YouTube. We don't have a YouTube page. We're on WEI's YouTube page. So go to WEI's YouTube page. Find our playlist. Subscribe to WEI. Hit that thumbs up button on the video. Comment the same shit there. Follow us on the socials at PlayTessie on both Twitter and Instagram. We continue to put out really good content. Sammy and I talked to a couple more players today, so we will have more content from those interactions. It's really good stuff. But for Sammy, we appreciate Bradford jumping in with us. For Coop and Joe in the back, it's Gordo here for Play Tessie episode 72. Thanks for tuning in. Toodaloo.